The Cape's #1 community station, 1FM on 94.0.
Welcome to another edition of Biz Boost, which is exclusive on 1FM 94.0 every Wednesday between 3 and 4. And right here on YouTube, thank you for subscribing. And of course, thank you for watching yet another edition of Biz Boost. We've had all kinds of people come to our studios. Today, we're going to be talking about the new revolution of cryptocurrency. But before we get into the new revolution of cryptocurrency, let's introduce our regular presenters. And in the far right-hand corner, weighing in at, I'm not going to go there. I don't know how much you weigh. Please say good morning or afternoon to Shatel Booysen.
Hello, Ian.
And sitting right next to her, weighing in at, I'm just kidding as well. They're going to kill me today. I'm glad there's a distance between us. Is of course Diane Boorman. Welcome.
Hi, Ian.
And on my right-hand side, the guy that's here for the new revolution of cryptocurrency. And also, I don't know how much he weighs, but thank you for coming to the show.
That's good.
Tim Wagner. Robert Wagner, anybody like that relation?
No, more like Wagner is the composer.
The composer. Do you play music?
I don't.
Oh, you have the surname. So, I mean, you're part of a group of guys called the My Wealth Method.
That's right.
And you'd like to train people on how to make money with different streams. I think this is quite exciting. We're in a time at the moment where as entrepreneurs, we need to find places to find money. We've spoken a bit briefly about getting finance from government and other sort of organizations that can assist. But if you could do it yourself, it'll actually be even better.
Absolutely.
And I think this particular program is not only for entrepreneurs, this is for everyday citizens who can benefit from it. So if there is somebody that you know looking for a job, maybe this is for them as well, and get them to watch this video. So
wellness, wealth, and wisdom legacy. Tim, tell us what Bitcoin is.
Well, the WWW legacy is my business from the basis that if you're going to have wealth, you need to have your health. Otherwise, what's the point? But the focus is generating wealth. So I work with a national group of guys where we basically educate and guide people on how to capitalize on this whole new evolution of money, which is cryptocurrencies, and started off by Bitcoin over 10 years ago.
So long. I didn't realize it's been going around for so long.
Bitcoin is, for me, it's an enigma. It's this thing in the air. I don't fully understand it. I mean, I would love for you to explain to me exactly. I know it's a cryptocurrency, but I have no idea where can you buy it, how much is it worth, what do I do with it, is it an investment like I make at Sanlam or
is it a country?
No, it's not a country, Ian. It's a...
Because
we're
it's a
not
currency.
buying
You've got to have a currency attached to a country.
I just don't understand it.
Commodity.
But I know people are making a lot of money from it. What is it?
Well, the idea of Bitcoin started by this unknown person called Satoshi Nakamoto.
Okay,
Back
he was
in
from?
2009. Unknown, and could be a group of people, could be ladies, gents, it doesn't matter really who invented it. It was created as a gift to the world as an alternative payment method outside of your normal fiat currencies, like your paper money, dollars, pounds, rand, whatever it is. And it's purely digital. So even now, we base our lives on these cell phones. And all the transactions that we do with our money when we're paying is digital.
Yes.
You go online, that number, you move from one bank to the other, that's digital.
Yes.
But what Bitcoin did was it takes it away from the control, this currency or this payment, from the control of the banks or governments or institutions. And it makes it what they call peer-to-peer. So I can pay, if I'm going to your business and I need to pay you something, I can then transfer that money from my wallet on my phone to your wallet on your phone.
So they're cutting out Reserve Bank, for instance.
Cutting out the middleman completely.
And they don't make money either, so that cost is cut.
The cost is minute. There is a fee for it, transaction fees.
Because it still has to move, I suppose.
It's still got to move, and there's a whole computer network around the world. And these computers are called miners. So anybody can become a miner, which basically is a person who assists in this entire community that runs Bitcoin around the world. And you have a computer that verifies these transactions.
Okay.
Because in fact, Bitcoin wasn't it's a massive invention and creation, but the biggest one was called blockchain technology. If you've never heard of blockchain, that's going to be a word which is going to be used far more and more in computers and business. You see, Bitcoin wasn't the first cryptocurrency. It wasn't the first digital currency. But it was the first time that somebody solved the problem of duplication. So I'm going to give you an example. So, Diane, let's say your daughter downloads a song on her phone. And her friend says, that's a cool song. Can you send it to me? She can duplicate it.
Yes.
Now, if you've got a digital currency, which is on your phone, how do you avoid somebody fraudulently creating another one? Right. So that was the problem in all digital currencies before, which were unregulated or not controlled by a body, was how do you stop this duplication?
Okay.
And that's called the blockchain. Effectively, it's a chain line of blocks, and each block every 10 minutes stores and secures that data, and it cannot be hacked. And they all build on top of each other. So it is now an electronic ledger of all the transactions that happen within, specifically this we're talking about, Bitcoin.
So would my transaction be a block?
Not a block, it'll be within a block
Okay.
Yes, data within a block.
of within that. And every time, so if I'm doing that payment with my app on my phone to you, that message goes out, that request for that goes out to all these computers called miners around the world. And it needs to be verified 3 times that that is a legitimate transaction. I own it, and I can send it to you, that it's not a duplicate. And every computer around the world has the entire ledger of all the databases. It's quite a phenomenal mind
Like a
thing.
big backup.
It's a massive backup.
Backup of a backup.
Yeah. But it's electronic now as opposed to in the banks when old checks. And if anybody remembers the last time you wrote a check, it got written in that big book. That was a ledger. Now it's electronic ledger. And once 3 computers have verified that transaction, it appears in your wallet. And that takes seconds.
That's all in the speed of light.
Absolutely.
Okay. So if I understand this correctly, for the small business owner out there who wants to transact with Bitcoin or with a cryptocurrency, I go and I purchase cryptocurrency. I purchase Bitcoin, and then I can pay my supplier in China with my Bitcoin. And what is the bank account? So where do I open the bank account where I keep this money in?
That's where a lot of people sort of get very stuck and confused because you're still expecting a bank, like there's a building and you can phone them and say, oops, I need to check this transaction or whatever.
Or just
Well, there is-
online, where's the account? Where's the money kept?
It's called a secure wallet.
Okay.
And this is kept on your cell phone or your laptop. And there's multiple ways because you want to make sure that no one can hack it. So one of the key things is to learn how it all works. That's why my business, Wellness, Wealth, and Wisdom, legacy wisdom being you need education. And it starts with, and a lot of people, when I ask them, why have you never bought Bitcoin before? Don't know how.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't
What
know
do I trust?
how.
I don't understand it.
Yeah.
So you need information and education.
Yes.
So that's where we focus on educating people about it before, so you get the confidence before you actually do so. And then you understand how the wallet on your phone works. Which ones are the secure ones? How do you buy it? That mystifies people. How do I get this thing? There's platforms in South Africa, and every country's got multiple different platforms where then you can put your rands onto and buy Bitcoin.
So I don't need to give you my money to buy the Bitcoin.
No, not at all.
Okay.
I think that's the most powerful thing here is teaching people to be in control of their own money.
Yeah.
At the moment, you're not in control of your money. When you put your money
bank
in the
is.
bank, who owns the money?
The bank.
does.
Yeah.
Do we trust them?
I think
How can we help you?
I'm not sure if we can answer that.
They're sitting with your money, so we have to trust them.
absolutely.
Now we've seen banks close down recently.
Yes.
Big banks.
VBS?
In international, huge amounts of
Yes,
money
in America.
disappearing.
Yeah.
If you just joined us, this is Biz Boost, and we're talking about Bitcoin with My Wealth Method and the Wellness, Wealth, and Legacy Wisdom, which is the company that Tim Wagner operates. So far, we've spoken about the blockchain technology within Bitcoin. We've spoken about the miners, that you need 3 of them to verify the transaction before it gets paid across to the next person. And how do we do that? We do that with a secure wallet, and that's where we store our money on our phones, not in a bank. We'll continue in a second, right here on Biz Boost. Well, that has been a very interesting conversation so far on Biz Boost. If you've got any questions to ask, then you can email us at studio@1fm.co.za. We'll also give you all the credentials on YouTube at the bottom of the page. We'll give you everybody here's credentials, but also while you're listening live on air on 1FM 94.0, you can email studio@1fm.co.za. This is Biz Boost, so please hashtag that BIZBOOST. We're talking about cryptocurrency. More in particular, we're talking about Bitcoin. We've spoken about the fact that the technology is incorruptible. It's been put together in blockchain technology, so therefore they've created a digital ledger across the world which has been spread across computers across the world called miners, and not young people, miners as in digging people, I think. Am I right?
Computers, miners.
Computer miners, yeah, not young, not underage people. And
baby.
it needs 3 different verifications before the money gets put across, and this all gets done in split seconds from your secure wallet. So yeah, stay tuned because we're going to continue talking about Bitcoin.
So why? Why Bitcoin? Why can't I just keep my money in my bank account at Absa Standard Bank, where I know how to move money from one bank to the next when I have to pay suppliers? Why Bitcoin?
Why is the biggest question about doing anything? And starting off, if I have a look at my own journey, why Bitcoin? That's because I wanted to be able to send money offshore outside of South Africa, so that when I went overseas to travel, I wasn't having to multiply my money by 20 or 10 every single time. So I wanted money outside of South Africa. What was the easiest way to do it? Was, well, cryptocurrencies were created. I could set up a wallet. So very simply, how to buy it. I would take my rands, register on a local platform, and there's a number of different ones. Luno is a very popular one in South Africa. They advertise a lot. Altcoin Trader is another one. And there's multiple different ones. Just make sure you research carefully. There's a lot of YouTube videos around there which can show you how to do it. You transfer your money on there. You buy it. And then once you've bought the Bitcoin, it's now this digital currency. You can then send it anywhere in the world to an external wallet, as long as you know which is a safe one.
Who does the currency belong to? Is it an international currency
It doesn't belong to a specific person.
or a country? So it doesn't belong to so how do you pay tax on it?
Well, that's a very good question, because you always want to make sure you pay your taxes. That's definitely one thing. And that's where the governments get so worried and concerned, because they're worried about fraudulent transactions.
If I'm taking money out of the country, I mean, surely SARS wants to know.
Well, the SARS will want to know when you put the money back into your bank account. So a lot of people want to do it. Why? For investments.
Yeah.
Buy low, sell high. I want to trade.
Yeah.
Many people think that's what cryptocurrency or Bitcoin's about. Yes, it can be. If you want to trade, you maybe done forex trading. Now you want to do cryptocurrency trading, buy low, sell high. So you buy it, but when you then sell it, what do you do with it? Well, you can take your profits back into your bank account.
And then you pay tax on
You
it.
pay tax, you declare.
Okay.
You must.
Okay.
That's the way to do it. It's not about evading tax.
Okay.
Tax avoidance is a different other subject.
Yeah.
Evasion's illegal.
Yeah.
But no, you have to pay that.
Okay.
So very simple process to actually purchase it. And then whether you want to hold it for a store of wealth. Speculators say that Bitcoin in the next 5 or 10 years will get to $1 million each.
Really?
So right now, buy it at $9,000. It's round about there today. That's pretty good return in 10 years' time.
So do you have to buy a whole Bitcoin?
No, you don't actually. That's what's so great. Bitcoin is broken down into 8 decimal places. They're called Satoshis after the creator, Satoshi Nakamoto. So the Rand has got cents, which is 2. And Bitcoin has got 8.
Okay.
So you can take 100 Rand
Okay.
and then go and buy 100 Rands worth of Bitcoin. You're going to get 0.0000001. There's not a lot now.
Yeah.
But here's another thing I also recommend to people. Start. Just take 100 Rand and try it.
Yes. Okay, Tim, where? How do I have a small business and I want to not trade in Bitcoin, but I want to start playing in the field where I maybe pay one supplier and start small. I live in Cape Town. Where do I go and purchase this Bitcoin?
It's all online. So you'd
Okay.
register on one of the platforms.
What are
for
the
example,
platforms?
Altcoin Trader.
Altcoin Trader.
Altcoin.
Altcoin.
ALT,
Oh, okay.
Coin Trader.
Altcoin
Or
Trader.
Luno is another one. You register a wallet on there. You
Yes.
would then transfer your rands from your normal bank account on there in rands. Once it's
Okay.
on there in rands, you then convert it into Bitcoin.
Okay.
Then once you've got the Bitcoin, you want to hold it in a secure wallet. A trading platform's not secure.
Okay.
So every people get concerned. They say, "It wasn't this one hacked or that hacked?" And this. Those are the trading sites which are the least secure. So if you've got Bitcoin, you want to hold it in a secure wallet.
Okay.
And there's a couple of different ones of them. One of them available. Some which you can take off the blockchain, so it can't be, or off the net, I should say, so that it can't be hacked or accessed by anybody. And when you want to use it, then you can put it up. So it's sort of offline if you want.
Okay.
You've got the digital code, which is all the cryptocurrency is. It's a code. Then the big question at the moment is teaching your supplier to also accept Bitcoin or cryptocurrency. And there's a lot of new technology coming up very, very fast. For example, there's one current company which I'm affiliated to, is called Caribars International. And they've launched something called K Exchange, which allows small business to register for free, accept cryptocurrencies, either then maintain it, keep it in the cryptocurrency, and there's multiple ones of them, or convert it immediately into rands or the fiat currency that they are, because this is international. So the volatility, which is what the big question people have is, if I'm buying something from you and I'm using Bitcoin, the price can go, you put it in your bank and it's in rand terms 145,000 rand for one today, and suddenly the price crashes down, it's 120, you've lost all your profit. So people become very skeptical and scared.
Absolutely.
So the technology and these brains out there that have designed so many of these platforms have understood that's a problem. Into mass adoption, people say, well, it's volatile. It could go up, but it could go down. My business can't afford that loss or that risk. So platforms like K Exchange take the risk away
Okay,
So they put it as at a fixed rate.
at a fixed rate, or you can take the Bitcoin as payment and immediately have it converted to rands at that price at that moment in time.
Okay.
So the moment you buy it, they can get it on wherever they are in their dollars, pounds, whatever, so that you don't lose anything.
You don't lose anything. So these
Wonderful.
platforms are becoming more and more prevalent, and there's a lot of interesting technology coming out there. So all the problems that people think about why they wouldn't start cryptocurrencies, when you have a look at the brains and the intellect around solving these problems, all the brains who started these FANG companies in the 1980s, Facebook and Amazon and Google and all these big companies, these brains, these guys have all gone into cryptocurrency. And so they're now generating this new technology to make the next movement or the transition of the move of money to be seamless and to cut out so many of these problems we've been experiencing.
It's better than having a barcode on the back of your head.
Let's not go down that route.
But which of the big retailers in South Africa will accept Bitcoin?
Well, right now, it's mostly the online platforms that will accept Bitcoin.
Like who?
No, Amazon, for example.
Amazon?
And some of these other online retailers do. Pick n Pay actually did a trial about 2 years ago, I think, just in one of their stores of what it would mean. And that was a very expensive, very successful trial. And that was 2 years ago, but they were just testing out the markets.
Playing the field.
They were playing it. So when you have a look at how many more stores don't accept cash, there's more restaurants coming up. Bars say, we have gone cashless. Well, what's the next transition? It's to then move away from credit cards. It's then to move. Why? Because they don't want to accept fraud, which is so much fraud in cash. So the next transition is understanding and where this development is going. Because let's be straight, Bitcoin's not going anywhere. Cryptocurrencies is here to stay.
Now, speaking of which, and our final question for the segment, the inflation. I mean, we've seen the world, the countries are trading with each other. Zimbabwe had the bread at $10,000 at one stage, or 1 million, whatever it was. How does inflation work with Bitcoin?
Well,
Is that a question?
isn't it? Well, it's a very valid question. Sort of, you can say the inflation is where it rises in value and drops in value.
Yeah.
The reality is inflation is only applicable when you take it back into a fiat currency.
All right. So who decides on that number, I guess, I suppose is the question.
The market.
The market.
The open market. So there's no government to control it. It's about usage, supply and demand.
So how many buy, how many sell?
Yeah.
How many transactions
You
there are
could
happening.
go
in
buy
the
a MacBook for 20,000 rands and it'll cost you 3 Bitcoins. You know, and that really going to change your way of thinking. Where do I spend? So I guess that's where we're going.
It's sort of, Bitcoin is often called digital gold because of its scarcity and its store of value. So whether long term it'll be a good store of value or not is to be seen. Only time is going to tell. You can speculate up and down. One of the big attractions back onto the why is to get away from the deflating value of the rand. Rand drops. Personal inflation is 24% a year if you work it out. That's why your basket of goods this year is less and less because of inflation.
Yeah.
The real cost of it. So what do? Well, then take your money, your currency out of rands, store it in gold. Store it in cryptocurrency.
Yes.
So that then at the point you actually want to use it, put it back into rands, you'll be perceived to have so many more rands, but that rand actually buys the same amount as when you put it in. It's a store of wealth. So that could be another why to then move away out of this inflationary issue.
Fantastic.
Sure.
Bitcoin is our conversation on Biz Boost. You can see there's a lot to learn. And I think Tim Wagner is going to give us his details a little bit later on. You can contact him direct because I don't think we're going to cover it all in this episode. But certainly we've learned about blockchain technology. We've learned about the places to buy Lumo, altcoin trader. We've learned words like fiat currency, which means the real dough. I kind of like that
Real
new
dough?
smell.
The real dough?
That's the fake dough.
So this is where we're coming from. And of course, it's a little bit safer. I think the next question we're going to ask is Bitcoin scam proof? And we'll come back with that question.
Security.
Yeah, right after these. Don't go away. Welcome back to Biz Boost on 1FM 94.0 as well as on our YouTube channel. Please search for 1FM 940 and subscribe to our channel. Also, if you've got any comments, write them in the links below as well and let us know what you think about Bitcoin, cryptocurrency, or any questions, leave it there as well. My mind's boggling. We've spoken about it's in an unreal place. It's almost talking about ghosts and stuff like that because I think we've all learned to grow up. If seeing is believing. If you don't see it, you don't believe it. That's why fiat money is lekker because I can see it. There's 100 rand. I'm going to give you 250s back because I can feel it. I know it's mine. Now I'm going to go right there. But we've done the same with photographs.
Yeah, it's all
Ultimately.
digital now. Hey?
We now
And email.
and email and letters. Yes.
Letters, postal service.
No.
So this thing isn't new. While you're speaking I'm thinking about when I was a child and you used to buy money from the post office, or you used to buy. Remember, there used to be some currency.
Yes.
We call it
Postal order.
obligasie. What is
called a postal
obligasie?
order.
Was it a postal order?
Postal order.
Yes, something like that. You used to
Yeah.
buy that, but
But
it
it was-
wasn't currency.
But you would send
No,
it
but-
across to somebody
yeah.
on the other side.
so
Put
the
their name on it
concept is
so
old.
they could get the money and draw it on the post office.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But I think
Yeah.
our traditional way is having that book where you had to fill in how much money you took to the post office or to the bank. Or we're so used to seeing
Yes.
like 100 rand, 200 rand, whatever.
Yes.
That
Yeah.
this just doesn't mean anything because it's a Bitcoin.
Although now we don't see the money. I mean, I don't carry cash at all.
There we go.
Yeah, I don't carry cash.
I
I mean,
use
you have a
Zapper.
card and you
Yeah,
Zapper,
use
Snap
it. That's it.
Scan. I do EFTs. I mean, apps on your phone. I don't work
So
with
your
cash.
currency now is digital.
Absolutely. It's just I'm giving all the commission to a three-letter word.
Right. So, and that's the whole thing is now this is the evolution of money. You talk about the post office and the postal service. Well, email was to the postal service as what cryptocurrencies is to fiat currency. It's the next transition and move. Life has gone digital, whether we like it or not.
Yeah.
It's not going, it's gone.
Yeah.
So then everything's going digital. What's the next thing? Well, currency is going digital. It's an open market, a free world of movement, of finances.
Music's done the same.
Music's done the same.
Yeah.
It's all digital.
Video
So then-
games.
But
Yes.
how secure is it? Because I mean, music has gone digital, so the musician doesn't really earn as much as what they were in the past because now everybody's
Royalties.
swapping money. I mean, swapping the songs around, and
Yeah.
surely there's also that kind of thing.
But there
with
is
the
a
Bitcoin.
revolution happening there too. You try and put up a picture of yourself with the song playing in the background on Facebook, they'll message you and say,
Take it
Yes.
off.
take it off.
You can't load a YouTube video with
Unless you pay a
a
license.
song with royalty. Yes. Yeah.
So how secure?
Yeah.
Back to education.
Okay.
Understanding which are secure and safe platforms, which are reliable platforms. A lot of people I speak to, many of my clients, have either been defrauded because they went on Facebook or they went on a social media site and they saw an ad, invest 10,000 Rand now and we'll buy your Bitcoin and you'll make $1 million by the end of the year. And they've got the guy sitting on the Ferrari and they're, oh,
Yes.
there's a scam. So
Dubai.
you've got to understand that, is there such a thing as a get-rich-quick scheme on these
Never.
things? Be very, very careful. So educate. Make sure that you're going to associate with where you can understand and learn. And it's all forms of that, to know which are the safe platforms. Because it's not regulated, so there's no one monitoring it.
Yeah.
So after you've lost it, you can go and complain and shout and scream, but then who do
There's
they
no
go
ombudsman.
to? Right.
Yeah.
So there isn't an
Absolutely.
ombudsman. One of the big attractions in cryptocurrency is that it isn't regulated, but it's also a disadvantage. So we understand there's regulations needed, but not control.
It's great for
Yes.
kidnappers, though.
Well, cash is much easier for kidnappers because Bitcoin can still be traced. With the right, because you've got an address.
I don't know. I've
Not
just
good
watched.
for
I watched this on
kidnappers.
television.
Not
I
good
just-
for kidnappers. In fact, only a very unintelligent criminal will ask for Bitcoin now.
So don't be fooled by the things you watch on TV anymore.
It's not quite the same. There are other coins which are not traceable, which I won't mention the names on now, which are 100.
All the kidnappers going.
No,
"Yes."
Which ones are they? We won't talk about them.
Let's talk about small business
Yeah.
rather. Okay.
Yeah.
Keep
I
it
want to
small.
know about the new Facebook currency.
Now that's exciting.
I read
So
about
yesterday, Facebook announced that they're launching their own cryptocurrency called the Libra coin.
Okay.
So Facebook also owns WhatsApp. So what they're doing is now they're creating this, what's called a stable coin. And a stable coin is where there's something backing the currency. Right? Bitcoin, nothing backs it, only usage. The same as Rand, dollar, nothing backs it.
Yeah.
But a stable coin is backed by something. So the Libra coin will be backed by the currency in that country. So if you bought it in South Africa, it'd be backed by, so one equivalent of Libra coin would be at 1 Rand, for example.
Okay.
So that then you could actually use this Libra coin to send as a payment. Talking about payment transfers. I mentioned K-Exchange is one of them. So you'd be able to, through WhatsApp or Facebook, be able to, in theory, send that Libra coin. You'd be able to then convert it back into the fiat currency.
So you're saying I will be able, if my business has a site or a Facebook page, I can now sell on my Facebook page in that currency.
Libra coins. That's the
And
theory
receive
behind
money.
it. Yes. But not only locally,
Yes.
you could do an international payment.
So how many people are on Facebook?
I think there's over 2.4 billion.
So you can trade with, or you can pass money between
That's the
2.4
power.
billion.
And
Right.
there's no commission, right? Because an international transaction, I mean, I just had an international transaction yesterday, the bank fee was over 800 Rand.
That's the big thing. That's where the banks are getting a little bit stuck with what to do with cryptocurrencies. What was interesting was when I read that Visa and MasterCard have actually invested into this whole Libra coin with Facebook. They've
Really?
got 10 big partners in that.
Good.
And I read that and thought, now that's very interesting because wouldn't that take away from their business? Well, yes and maybe no. What do they know is happening and they realize we need to get into this change?
To understand it.
Otherwise, we're a dinosaur. And then
Yeah.
in theory, in the next few years, that plastic that we're using now, which was the evolution in 1950,
Yes.
that plastic's going to be gone. Our kids and grandkids are going to be saying, how did you used to pay with things?
Absolutely.
Did what?
It'd be like a Kodak camera.
Exactly. They're still around, but
Yeah.
they just got on board too late. In fact, they had technology, they had trademarks to the digital camera in the 70s. They just didn't believe it would work because they were making so much money off film. Only until Sony said, this is the way to go. And Kodak still said, nah, it's not going to happen. And they came in the game 10 years too late. And that's how they became such a small player. So that's probably what's
happening
to
here.
Visa,
So
PayPal, these guys.
whether Libra coin is going to be functional and usable, and whether governments, because now they've got to go to each country and get permission to use that coin in that country. And I mean, there's a number of countries around the world which have completely outlawed cryptocurrencies of Bitcoin. Very few, but they're there. What is actually now happening is it's putting cryptocurrencies in mainstream media. And so the whole hype around Bitcoin and cryptocurrency is going to grow, and people are going to start turning and going, I need to learn about this stuff. Because now if Facebook is launching their own, I got to find out about this because this is big, whether you're a small business owner or a big business. And just the whole now speed and evolution, the movements of money and how fast it's moved. If you consider 10 years ago, this didn't exist.
Yeah, absolutely.
This industry which has been created so fast, where are we going to be in the next 10 years?
Well, it's the speed, because if I pay you money via EFT, it takes 48 hours or something.
And cost you.
And it costs, but why does it take 48 hours? Because it's doing the same route as what cryptocurrency is doing. You know, it's going from one to the next. So why
Because
does
the
it
bank
take?
keeps it for a while. So they can,
Hangs there somewhere.
well, maybe they earn interest on it.
Yeah.
For those 48 hours, they're making money off it.
Absolutely.
And then they charge you for the privilege.
Yes.
Both of you, both parties.
Yes,
Yes.
absolutely.
Yeah.
One of the other reasons for why cryptocurrencies. In fact, yesterday it was reported that there was the biggest single transaction ever in Bitcoin. With over 43,000 Bitcoin moved, equivalent to $400 It
400 million.
400 million US dollars.
Sure.
It took 15 minutes and cost $2.53.
I love it.
No, it's
I
crazy,
absolutely
hey?
love it.
That
I
quick,
love where it's
that,
going.
that fast, and that, so the one party can see it go and the other party sees it arrive. Transaction.
So you in this whole world now, there's the scammers. Okay, we don't want to talk about them. How do you or people that have got various, like Luna and all, how do they make money? How do you make any money in this or not?
Well, I do. I'm a businessman.
Yeah.
So, of course, I want to make money. I used to have a full-time job, and I kicked that over a year ago, and
Good.
now,
Yes.
now my
We
own,
love
now my own
entrepreneurs.
guy. Yeah, that's what it is. But I started my cryptocurrency education while I had my full-time job. So I started in August 2016, and only after a year and a half with building up, because I was mining, so I was making money through mining cryptocurrencies, I started to learn how to trade. So then I started to replace my full-time income with my cryptocurrency profits that I was doing. And now a lot of my income is driven from educating people.
Okay.
I have a workshop that I've created called the Wealth Thinking Workshop, because it's about changing your perception how money works, changing your perception about the banking system, the reserve banks, the history of money, understanding and learning about it. So I will always go back to education as being fundamental and key. It's your money. Learn about it. Find out where is it, what's it doing, where does it start from, where does it go, and then you understand the importance of why you need to think and do something different. So that's where a portion of what the money that I make comes from. And it's also, you spoke about investments. There are coins out there. One of them is called the Carat Bar coin, which is backed by physical gold.
Okay.
Now, gold in the world's economy is massive and it's booming. There's a massive war going on, trade war between China and America. China's going to use gold to trade. All these countries around the world are buying gold.
Sure.
It's crazy, hey?
So if they're buying gold, I want to buy gold.
Absolutely.
And it's understanding that education process of why, and then there's these coins which are backed by gold.
It's your money, and learn what to do with it and how to use it and how to spend it and what way to place it and store it. We're going to come back with some final thoughts here on Biz Boost on 1FM 94.0. This is Biz Boost on 1FM 94.0. Thank you so much for watching this edition. I'm sure you've been captivated because of the fact we're talking about money, but not just any kind of money, cryptocurrency, both from a personal point of view to also an entrepreneurial point of view. Chantal, you had a question.
I really want to learn more about what you said about money, how governments control money, how the banks operate. Where can I get hold of this course?
Conspiracytheories.com.
Well,
I
are the
just want more
conspiracy
information.
theories, are they really conspiracies? Or is it the truth just sort of hidden behind a conspiracy? Well, that's it. Well, the start on the cryptocurrency side is we have an office in Sable Square where we offer free introductions into what is cryptocurrency, just to give an overview. And we do that twice a week in the evenings. And that's we're a national franchise, so educating people about that. To learn and understand more about money and the history of money. And well, YouTube is a brilliant way to start. A guy by the name of Mike Maloney has got The Hidden Secrets of Money. It's a 10-series YouTube videos, which is a fantastic way to start. And I don't know about you, but if ever I hear an economist talking, most of the words just go straight at the top of my head. I'm not understanding.
Yes.
What I really enjoy about Mike Maloney is that he uses visuals. So he'll explain it and say, this is what it means to you. And he uses graphics about the Reserve Bank. Why is gold important? Where's your money? How the whole financial ecosystem has been built to actually capitalize on us, our normal businesses. So that's a brilliant way to start. My workshop I do a couple of times a month. So I'll give you my email address and my website so that you
Yes,
can have a
please give
look
it to
at that.
the viewers
so
now.
that would
Yeah.
be www.legacy.net. So it's Wellness, Wealth and Wisdom Legacy. So www.legacy.net. And
Email
drop
address?
me my email. Well, my email address is timw@www.legacy.net. So it's very similar.
Lots of W's.
A lot of W's. Well, there's Wagner as well. It's wellness, wealth, and wisdom. And that's where I also have my 2-hour workshop. And it's a workshop. So it's interactive, and I really do get into people's faces where I teach people about what I learned in my journey. How did I free myself up from the financial burdens of normal life after having 2 houses, the bank owned, 2 cars, the bank owned, 2 credit cards overdrawn, the normal life stuff, but having a full-time job and a career and earning a decent money, but there I stuck. And I had to learn to think differently. And my objective, this was last year, 2018, was how do the wealthy think? Because they know something I don't know. And I want to learn that. That was my journey. And that's what I teach in my 2-hour workshop, is just to try and get that thought process going, why it's so important to learn, because we don't get taught.
No, absolutely.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay, so that's www.legacy.net is the website. And I'm sure you can have a contact us button there. And that's is where you'll be able to meet Tim Wagner in person and do his course. So I think go out and do that. I think we're going to be in your next class.
Absolutely.
We
I hope
also
so.
want to think how rich people think. And
There we go.
I want to learn that. Thank you so much for your time. I mean, I think you've given us a wealth of information. I think you've certainly scratched in the top of it. But you've left an opportunity now for people to come through and view and listen to your story, because you're not just somebody who's saying it. You've been there, you've done that, and you're living it, which is fantastic.
Very true.
If you'd like to get hold of Shatel Booysen,
hello@shatelbooysen.com.
if you'd like to get hold of Diane Boorman,
Diane@brandanalytics.co.za.
and we're going to ask you for your email address again.
Tim W at www.legacy.net.
And here at 1FM Studio at 1fm.co.za. Thank you so much for coming to join us on YouTube, as well as listening to us on 1FM 94.0. This is another edition of Biz Boost. Come on, entrepreneurs, get out there.
The Cape's #1 community station, 1FM on 94.0.